Welcome back to the HVAC Accelerated Success Program. Last November, we talked about the importance of the power plant and the maintenance of that power plant. There are many ways that a power plant can maximize its performance. In a fixed pitch prop, the pitch of that prop is tuned for power and speed to match that aircraft. An innovation that was added to the prop was the ability to be able to feather a prop or change the pitch while the aircraft was flying. This gave the pilots the ability to tune the pitch of the prop for takeoff, cruise, and landing, reducing drag, increasing speed and performance, and allowing the plane to climb faster when at different flight attitudes. Having a versatile technician is the same as being able to feather your prop. We've got a lot to cover, so let's take off.
This all started out with a phone call, and they said, "Man, you've been selected. This is a big deal, a big deal." You know, it was an emphasis on that, and I realized that more and more every day since I got with this program. My mindset going into this program was fearful. It was doubtful. It was uncertain. It was not defined. My tool set was lacking in ways that I didn't realize. It was lacking in ways of leadership, training. It was lacking a consistent goal orientation for my teams and giving them the proper things they need to do to be successful, which goes into skill sets. Skill sets are something that some people are naturally good at in certain things. And one thing I've really learned about being a leader is there's really nothing natural about it. There's so many tools and skills and so many books you can read, and you never stop. And I've exposed myself to a lot of the books that were recommended. Ron Smith's HVAC Spells Wealth. I've done my own thing like Eat That Frog, some other things that I've been just really reading as a leader for the company, and listening to David Holt, to Brad, and to Tom, and to Matt, and Kimberly, and Kathy, and everybody with the whole program from CI Web Group to Power Selling Pros with Melanie. I mean, my goodness. I'd say the overall culture of our company is finally going towards the direction that I actually dreamed about. I just didn't know how to get it there, and I've never felt more confident. I've never had more of a direction. Very clear-headed. Even the man that's worked with me for 1.5 years says, "You seem different," and I do. I feel different. I'm a lot more confident. I have a lot more structure set in place now. I've gone through and restructured a lot of the standards and procedures, and all that is really based on what I've seen and been exposed to. NCI is, really given me a new direction as far as offering people a sound, defined solution instead of, "Well, it might work," or, "Yeah, we'll do this, and then it might be, something that you can benefit from. Here's a bill for $1,500. Call me in a week and then let me know how it works." That's infuriating to a client. So we are honing those skills in. We're nowhere near the end of that yet. I was like, before this, I never would have had a meeting weekly. I never would have paid for training for people. I was like, they should just know how to do it. They should know how to do it the way I want it done. It doesn't work that way. And that is, it's been very successful. We just had the best January that we've had in ever coming out of a COVID. I mean, that's big. And I think that just goes to show you that we're engaged and we're open-minded, and we've got the right mindset to increase the tool set and the skill set to be successful.
Now it's all about the value, what kind of value we can offer. And now that is something that we are detailing to all of our customers. We're adding value to everything we provide. From a service call, repair, whatever it might be, we explain to them the value, not just the cost, but the value of what they are paying for. And before, I didn't really have that mindset. I had the mindset of a consumer who just wants the cheapest price. And so when I hear people call and they want to shop us and stuff, now I can talk to them and say, yeah, maybe you think that that's high, but, are these other companies going to offer you the stuff that we're offering? And it's been different for sure. We can tell them that we offer the safety, health, comfort, and efficiency of their system. So I probably didn't do those in order, but
no, you did actually.
Those were in order. Okay. So that's something that we explain to the consumer now. And I don't think it's been explained like that before. And so when you use those words in their little words, they go a long way.
Yeah, they're huge. They're huge. There you go. Appreciate that, Trevor. Trevor's always got his right by him. He's good. Keep that going. Well, thanks, Peggy. Is there anything else from a mindset or a skill set or tool set angle from your perspective, looking at it from the overall operation of the business?
Well, everything that the accelerated program has given us has been remarkable. And I never, from CI Web Group, I never understood the importance of your website and how it can actually bring in consumers. I used to just look at it as a website was just a tool for information. But if you have the right website, it's going to bring more people to your website. That's really the goal of a website. And so that's been a huge help. The website, Power Selling Pros, they're helping us speak to these customers. They're giving us the tools to answer questions in a way we would have never done before. And just closing the deal.
Excellent.
Great. We now have the tools to close the deal.
Excellent. How about you, Trevor? Thanks for that, Peggy.
NCI is great. I love it. Seeing everything we've done, I'm about to, a few more months, I'll be here for about 2 years, and seeing everything before and after is dramatically different and for the better. We've learned so many new processes and procedures, adding value, as Peggy was saying, and also adding personal touches as well with the customer. Whenever you talk to these customers and let them know, we're here to help you. We're here to make you happy. We're here to do as much as we can. We're not happy until you're happy. Really goes a long way. And before it was very, based on maybe quality or quantity more than it was quality. And now we kind of turn that around and we're realizing, wait a minute, if we just have, these handful of really good customers and give as much as we can in all sorts of angles and aspects, we're able to really benefit from it in the long run. And it's I think it's awesome. It's fun. It makes it fun.
And having fun is a good thing as well. And now, Trevor, are you a technical person?
Not really. I mean, very little. I've did beverage in the past. So, very, 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 basic 101. I learned key points to ask my technicians. I don't really feel confident to be able to go out in the field and perform what was, taught in the training, but I do feel confident I can ask the technicians certain questions that were, the process on how they, did the procedures of being on site. So I feel confident in the sense of I could talk to technicians about the work. So that's what I kind of gained from the technical aspect of the training.
Okay. And prior to Top Tech's engagement with the Accelerated HVAC Success Program, had you ever heard of National Comfort Institute?
I have not. No, this is the first time. It was all new for me. And at first I was kind of nervous because we tried a lot of things in the past that weren't working. And as soon as we started seeing the results from this, it's literally night and day.
It's shocking when I found out that January was the best month we've ever done since we've been in business for 9 years now.
Yeah, for January. And I have to, Trevor, he can pick up what these techs say, and he listens so well, and he can let me know something's not right. And he is more technical than he's letting himself to be.
I agree with that.
So I have to step in on that one. But yeah, that was really good.
Like until you and I met, a couple of years ago, I wasn't really quite, understanding of what NCI was and what it all offered. You know, I'd had to do some, but with all the coaches involved in this CI Web group, you know, Power Selling Pros, you know, Tom, Matt Plugoff. I mean, it's all, these are all the most important corners of a business that's required to be successful and grow in a healthy pace, right? I mean, you got to have a brand, understand that your brand is your business and how to roll that brand out, how to sell it, how to engage on the phone calls you have through Power Selling Pros, and how to put it all together in a process, and it helps with building. You know, you don't make it an approach too quick, but it's a pace that's manageable for, you know, a very, you know, green business, shall we say, in HVAC, to be able to build the structure and culture that they need to continue and to move on prosperously. And, you know, and from the beginning, I've always preached that, hey, look, Kevin and Peggy and Trevor, what brought me involved in wanting them to do this program was their ambition and motivation. But ambition and motivation can only take you through this process, that they didn't have just ambition and motivation, but they had the character and they had the structure built in to continue that. Because you can't always rely on just motivation. You got to have that dedication to really push you through some of those times where you're not really necessarily motivated at times. So the dedication is what really showed me the true colors of Top Tech. I think the mindset was the most important. Kevin and Peggy and Trevor, they always had the mindset to succeed. I just don't think they had the right direction of where to put that mindset. It was knowing that the tool set was needed with that mindset as well as the skill set. I mean, you can't just have a mindset without the skill set and tool set, because they had the mindset, but without knowing how much they knew already. I think that's what helped mold their mindset into where it is now, with the dedication.
Very cool. Kevin, you got anything to say about what he just said?
I hit the nail right on the head. You know, I mean, I'm really glad that he stepped in and saw that in us and recommended us for this. I think it's going to change all of our lives. You know, I contribute. It already has. It's just going to get better. I mean, it's a really good thing for someone that's our level, but I think it could also be good at any different level if you're willing to sit back and humble yourself and realize where you could do things better, and, you know, what you're not doing so well, and work on them. And business is tough. You can focus on your strengths or you can focus on your weaknesses. And it's a tough battle to figure out which way you should go sometimes. Do you want to get stronger in this area? Do you want to get stronger in your weaknesses? And most people will tell you to work with your strengths. But in business, you can't do that. You've got to check all your blind spots. You've got to put everything in perspective. And I always knew that of what I wanted. And, you know, I think Brad saw that. He saw my drive, and I think he saw that, and he tapped into it and put me into this position with our team, and everybody that we have in place at Top Tech has the same drive, and they all share my passion. And that's a beautiful thing. And it is an honor to be involved in it. It's a blessing to be involved in it. And I'm blessed to have everybody in this room.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. Peggy, what were your thoughts about what Brad just said?
Well, I mean, it was great what he said, but I was thinking about the other companies that aren't participating as much as we are. And we all saw an opportunity and we ran with it. And I think it's unfortunate for anyone that would not take advantage of this opportunity that's giving us so many tools and skills to succeed. And that's really the only thing it's for, is for us to succeed. And that's why we opened it, you know, we welcomed it with open arms. And we're doing we're trying to do everything y'all say to do, because we look at it as, you guys know what you're talking about. You don't just talk about it. I mean, you have the record to prove it. So, yeah, I mean, the opportunity was there. We took it, and I'm glad that we did, because we're seeing the results.
Yeah, I mean, Brad said it right. I mean, we had the drive, the motivation, the ambition. We just needed to fine tune it and really focus in on the process that NCI kind of showed us. And it really, I mean, once we focus it in, we're able to recognize when we fail, like you just talked about, and we're able to tune it to where it needs to be, to where we can succeed. And before, it was just kind of like trying different things, seeing what worked, and now we're truly learning when we don't succeed, and we're figuring out how to succeed based on our mistakes. And it's definitely gone a long way, for sure.
I come from a school of hard knocks. My stepfather, God bless him, threw me out there to the wolves, and we always used to say that you got to fend with the wolves. And it's tough, man. You attach the emotion to those lessons, and blood, sweat, and tears, and unbillable time, and callback, and disappointment, and resentment, depression. I mean, you can go through the pipeline on all that. And I mean, that was a hard thing for me to shake off my sleeve because I was brought up that way. I think a lot of people in HVAC are like, well, you're not going to learn until you get out there in the field. So, this experience in working with NCI and seeing the ways that you teach has taught me how to teach as well. And I realized, and I sat back, because at Top Tech, I mean, we do so many things. I mean, it is ridiculous, all the things that we can do. And that's because I've been doing it for 25 plus years, and I've been involved with it, and I was able to get in there and fight with the wolves. But what I'm learning is that it's not necessary. You don't have to go out and go through what I went through. And there's a way to where you can teach people, and when they go out there and they do have to fight the wolves, they're not going to get bit, and they don't have to get hurt. They don't have to make those decisions that are going to lead towards disaster, that are bad for the company, the customer, and the coworker, for everybody. So, loaded question. I had been people have been telling me for years, you got to get a guy and have him ride with the truck. And I tried that. I tried to go out in the field and train people right beside them and help them to understand it. It's in one ear and out the other. There's too much stress. And, there's a stressed customer. You can't take the time. I actually had a good friend of mine. He played in the majors. He came in, and he came out, and he wanted to train to do HVAC. And he worked with me for a whole summer. He said, Kevin, you didn't take 1 minute to train me, man. And it's because we're on 125-degree roofs. I've got another call to go to. It's just not good. It's not a good way to learn, and it's not a good way to teach. And by going through the classes that I've gone through with you guys, I've really decided that I'm going to create my own certification program, and it's going to be my own. It's going to go through NCI. It's going to go through other educating systems, and we're going to test them in and then test them out of all these programs and seeing how much better they get performance-wise, whether it's in the field. I'm not a money person, okay? I'm not. I don't care if I'm making $100,000 a month on doing something. If I'm not having a good time, I'm not going to be happy. Money doesn't make anyone happy. I think value in what you do and having people appreciate what you do and having your coworkers appreciate you and your business and how you do business is irreplaceable. So with the NCI training, it is so neat because, I've done all of it online. I know you guys do a lot of it in person. It's set up to where you can learn it, and it's set up so well, and it's so simplified that, someone that's not technical, Trevor, he doesn't give himself enough credit. He is somewhat technical, but even Peggy understands A, B, and C, and D on these test points now. She's heard me talk about it, and, you don't have to understand the whole system and talk about each component of the system, as long as you can say safe, health, comfort, efficiency. So it's a trickle effect, man. And it's almost like working out. You can go in there and you can lift weights, and you can slowly build muscle. You can slowly build the skills and the talents and the agility to be able to get in there and to battle, instead of just throwing somebody out there and seeing if they survive. And then you're saying, man, dude, you're out because you don't know what the heck you're doing. And I've been through a lot of techs, and I hate to say it, but if I would have had things set up, I don't hate to say it. It's a great feeling to know that if they would have went through this system the way that we're going to develop it to be done from here on out, by going through NCI, by going through and getting all the proper certifications and the proper requirements, not just HVAC school or an engineering degree, it just doesn't work. So at the end of the day, when they go through all those processes, I do believe, and I truly think that 80% of the people that I did hire would have worked out in a better way, and they'd still be around. And that's a yeah.
So in a nutshell, what you're saying is you are now the university president for Top Tech University.
Yeah, I mean, I got a room. It's
right.
Specifically for training. We are going to come through, and I've got, a thing where we're setting it up once a week. A tech brings in a part on his truck that he knows, and then he's going to bring one that he doesn't really know, and we're all going to have show and tell. And we're going to talk about everything we know about this particular part, problems we ran into with it, and try to prepare people for battle as much as possible, because it sucks to get KO'd out there for everybody.
No doubt.
So I made the executive decision to try to get every toolkit the same within my business. I actually bought matching tool bags. Right now, budgeting is an issue. We're still a very tightly knit company. So, I'd want to just have checklists for the tools to make sure everybody has the same tools and that everybody's familiar with those tools. So we're all going to use the same meters. We're all going to have the same tools universally. The whole have the tech bring on his own tools is just not a good way to go, because you don't know if they're going to be good tools. You don't know if they've taken care of them. You don't know how many roofs they've been beat up, or how many times they zap their meter by ohming the voltage or jumping out stuff. I mean, you just don't know. So we're trying to equip our trucks and then this is, we're setting back to inventory as well, like our actual equipment inventory. We've got weekly truck inspections now that Trevor's been performing with a digitized checklist. It checks down to, oxygen tanks. Are the valves in good shape? Is the truck clean? Is it in good shape? Or the tire pressure is good? Does it need an oil change? I mean, we have when I say that we have changed, we haven't just had a makeover, man. We're a new company. I mean, altogether, this whole company is just starting to come together, and it took all this stuff and all these people and all these different things to set that in motion. And you're right. I mean, we might fail, but we're going to get up and we're going to keep going. But as far as tool sets, we've gotten some manometers. We're doing airflow testing, and man, when customers see that you're doing that and you explain to them why, they understand it. I mean, it's not like that people aren't stupid. They get it. They understand that the system needs to circulate air properly. But whenever you go and you work on something, blood pressure testing, right? Is it your blood? Are you in hypertension? The customer understands all that. And it's very easy to explain it to them with the methods that NCI actually has in the books. And you can just show it with your book that you get when you get done with the class, and say, listen, you got more than you don't say this, but you got more than 20%, budget increase over your evaporator, which maybe it's a 0.5 evaporator and you've got a 0.4 across your evaporator. Well, most likely you've probably got a frozen evaporator. It's probably really dirty, or maybe a very undersized evaporator. So you learn all that stuff. And I didn't know how to test anything. It was just a guessing game until, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet. I was watching the videos of the meetings that you guys do, I think every third Friday or first Friday of the month. And it's on my calendar. I won't forget. But there's a guy, and he had a whole.
It's this Friday.
This Friday, I've got it on my calendar. He's got a whole patch of NCI accreditations all the way up and down his sleeve. And whenever I was hearing him about his problems, he's booked 3 months out. So I haven't heard
such a problem.
I haven't heard that from many small business owners in HVAC, probably ever. And I'm not sure if that is a small business, but I mean, he seems like he's engaged, right? And that's a really cool thing. And I think it's just because he's sticking to those principles of air upgrades, making sure that you do a great job, high efficiency duct systems, first and foremost, before high efficiency equipment. Absolutely.
He is definitely doing that.
I've been here for a year and a half, going on 2 years, and I've seen everything, efficiency, everything just about double than what it was when I first hopped on. And also, I mean, at before when I first hopped on, every day was like survival. So we had to survive every day pretty much and make it through. And once we like get all our tasks done that day, we're like, all right, we made it through the day. Let's on, let's tackle tomorrow when it comes, kind of deal. But now it's like we're set up so well. It's pretty much production to me is pretty much doubled efficiency. We're working to like 2 times less than what we were, but we're also being 2 times more productive. So that's kind of what I see. So from a year from now, I could definitely see us doubling again, having twice as much technicians, handling things, in a more efficient manner. So it's quick. It's relatively quick from what I've seen. I've never seen anything like it in any of my past jobs. I've never seen any company like move forward that quick.
That is very cool. What about you, Peggy?
I would say, he said productive, I would say profitable. So especially since Trevor started, just last year alone, in 2019, our sales were higher than 2020, but we were more profitable in 2020 than we were in 2019. So in essence, 2019 really didn't matter. Our sales, if we're not making profit, then we're not making money. So definitely productivity and profitable. We've definitely become more profitable.
Understanding the value of what you provide to your consumers.
For sure.
We definitely didn't have the checks and balances that we do now to make sure that we are running efficiently. I would say 2019, my biggest, if I could use one word to define 2019, it would be overwhelmed. We had way too many techs, way too many customers, and not enough processes and not enough foundation. Like we grew too quick that year. And
quantity over quality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Trevor came on at the tail end of that, and he got into our, I know he remembers this. He got into our database, and I was just scrambling, keeping up with everything. And then he came on board. I think we had like 80 invoices that weren't billed.
Yeah, it was like 80, like just
bad.
sitting there from like 3 months prior, not billed out.
So then 2020, our biggest problem was
we upset a lot of customers because of that as well.
Yeah, we've got a new mindset here at Top Tech too, is that when we get a customer, that's our customer. That's like a family member. Like we want to take care of everything we can for that customer. And instead of just getting in and getting out and then moving on to the next, we want to spend our time focusing on that client. And I do think that makes a big difference. We want to take care of their systems. And if anything happens within their system in their lifetime, 10 to 15 years down the line, we want to be the people that they go to. And then we want to love on it every year to keep it running as efficient as we can. I mean, before this, I never even really focused on service agreements. I didn't. And it was just, my mindset was on brain surgery. It was on service and repair. That was my major focus. I was trying to find people that could do it. And I always like to say, I was trying to find brain surgeons that could do it all on a RTU, a home, a walk-in cooler, or a combi oven, or, everything that we do. And it's not out there. And we did actually dial things back. And I said, Trevor, our focus for 2021 is going to be simplification and process. And we're going to focus on our simplistic products, and we're going to try to promote them as much as possible. So therefore we have enough of those to where we can hire. And once they get out of the approval process of our training program, which we're going to have, then we can have them go out in the field and do ride-alongs for those, and maybe service and repair, probably not, but hopefully they can go out there and ride along with the tech, and we can get them doing tune-ups. And, maybe that they don't need 2 years of trade school to do that. Maybe we could teach them, through NCI and then the Top Tech certification program that I'm going to teach, that we can take great people that, David has been preaching this since the beginning, and it took me a long time to get it. And it does take a long time to change someone's mindset. I did a really good job of changing mine, because I'm a stubborn person, and my wife could probably tell you that. But, it is definitely something I think we can take people that actually have the attributes that we're looking for. As you always say, the honest, loyal Boy Scout. And, we had an interview and I actually, hey man, I'm going to start reading some words out to you and tell me which one describes your character the most. And I just read off of that. And he's like, yeah, I'm that. And then he goes, no, I'm not really that. But he hit most of them. So I can't remember the exact one he didn't say, but he seems to be a good guy. But he's young and he wants, $11 an hour to come in and start training HVAC. And, he seems like a good candidate. So, we can bring him in and make him a good future and career.
Well, and so Peggy, how easy is it to identify and recruit good people, period, that have a mechanical aptitude, but they're not necessarily a brain surgeon in HVAC?
That was something that, you've instilled in us as well, is to, find somebody who's just willing to learn. We don't need to find that Mr. Technical guy who knows it all.
I think the first thing that goes through any competitive contractor's mind is, it's my secret formula. Like, I don't want to give it away. But truth be told, like in a competitive marketplace, that's okay. You want competitors to do the same quality work that you have, and you want them to be offering the same type of value and product. So, like if somebody came to me and they were a competitor and they say, Kevin, what can I do? What are you doing? Because I know it's going to happen. Like, it's going to probably happen next summer. At the end of next summer, I could see a few people that I know that are like, dang, dude, what is going on with you? And hey, go watch the Accelerated Success Program. You can kind of see me going crazy, then I slowly find myself in the business. And that kind of describes the last 6 months for me. The biggest thing I could tell them is just trust the process and trust NCI and trust their leadership, that what you pay into it is going to pay 1,000 times back over to you from the investment, and that you will be happier because you're not going to have to put out fires. You're not going to say, well, I'm going to have to figure out how to tell this customer why they just put this much money into a system and they're getting called back out on it 3 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later. I mean, this stuff can happen over time, and it doesn't happen all at once. I've seen installs that were put in pretty bad that lasted a couple of years, and then all of a sudden the problems start. And if you're a business owner and you think about what you want your company's name to be putting out there in the field, you want it to be of a higher value. Of course you do. If you don't think that, you shouldn't be in business. So NCI gives you the ability to communicate and kind of mind the gap of a technician to a consumer. It takes a technical mindset and it allows it to compute with a customer's mindset and not piss anybody off, because that's what happens a lot of times. We've heard it explained that, yeah, your tech, he didn't mansplain it to me, and I really appreciated that. And there's all kinds of terms that people can use. And you've always said this, and I didn't really understand it, that it's really common sense when you think about it, that communication is both ways. And a lot of times what someone intends to communicate does not get perceived on the other end that way. And then it creates everything just falls at that point. So I would just tell them that you really should trust NCI, that NCI is filled with, I've said this before, like the group of guys that I've met at NCI and, John Ellis, David, John Purnham, like all the guys that have just helped me out in the videos. They're like some of my favorite people that I've met in 20 something years of business. And it's nice to surround yourself with higher hanging fruit. So except for that David Holt, I don't know.
Hey.
But, it's something you should do. If you're a contractor and you're thinking about using NCI, it's a no-brainer, man. If you got, don't even say if you got it, make the time and make the money and do the investment. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, how about you, Peggy? Thank you for that, Kim.
I would say, why trust NCI, I would say, because you're going to gain the skills and knowledge to a successful HVAC company that you never knew you needed. That's what I would say. Because I don't think that when we signed on, I don't think that we knew we were going to learn so many things that we were doing wrong. I think we thought, okay, you know, they're going to help us out some here with some tricks and give us some advice on some things, but no, that we've gained so much knowledge and training on successful HVAC that we never knew we needed. So I think that that's reason enough to choose NCI.